Hello folks, this is Miguel from the Embargo Man channel. So what we're gonna talk about is the Ariel situation. Now what we're gonna talk about this is, I seen all these hashtag of not my Ariel going on. So now what we're gonna talk about, this is nothing new. This has happened before. So what happened with this is like, when people saying that, oh yeah, that Haley Bailey's going to play Ariel in the remake of the Little Mermaid new Little Mermaid movie, right? Well, the remake of the Little Mermaid movie. Some people said this is not my Ariel, whatever. Well, this is nothing new. This happened before, and let me tell you folks that the first character, I also call it ethnic swapping. The first character to be ethnic swap, way before that, it was Catwoman. And why Catwoman, right? Because back then, Polly Newmar, right? Newmar played the Catwoman character back in the 1960s Batman series, right? When Adam West played Batman and Vernon plays Robin, right? So Cesar Romano played the Joker, but this is just saying in the third season of Batman back in 1968. Back in 1968, there wasn't no internet, there wasn't no Twitter or anything like that, right? It was just people that was saying that after Polly Newmar has played Catwoman, there's gonna be Eartha Kitt, and then when Eartha Kitt played Catwoman, then I know there was no hashtag that not my Catwoman, right? There's no hashtag that says not my Catwoman, because Eartha Kitt got the role for the third season of Batman to play Catwoman, and then we saw it. I mean, I can remember that, but now this is not happening. It just didn't happen. Ariel. It happened with Kingpin. It happened with Nick Fury. It happened with Aquaman, right? So it could happen to any. I mean, what would people complain about? Not my Ariel hashtag, right? With this not my Ariel hashtag, what they're doing is this. What happened is that people got mad. I'm not going to discriminate anybody or anything like that. But after I have seen the new Aladdin movie, and I heard that it was the right cast, they did it the right way. I mean, either way, that Will Smith played the genie, right? Anyway, the genie was blue. Even in the animated version, the genie was blue, right? And the reason why the genie is blue is because, I mean, after Robin Williams has voiced the genie, then you have Will Smith playing the genie. Okay, put it that way. This is right. They have the right cast. It's called culturally appropriate. Not to be politically correct, but this is called culturally appropriate, right? So after all, they just got it right? You know, I mean, Disney got it right, like, anyway, like, in the Middle East, I mean, just getting to the Afro-Asian culture, Middle Eastern culture, put it that way, right? Northern Africa, Central Asia, that's it, I might say there are people of African descent or black people in the Middle East. Okay, appropriate. Will Smith played the genie and stuff. Well, and there was this thing about that. This is nothing new. This happened before, but there was this complaint about Idris Elba playing James Bond, right? What is this thing about Idris Elba playing James Bond? And then there is this thing about people trying to say, all right, well, this guy can't be, there was, people just blow their minds about Idris Elba James Bond, but this would be, they just, toss it in the toilet. Idris Elba reject the offer to play James Bond. Now the guy who played Superman going to be played James Bond, right? So that's it. And one thing is, if they did it, if they could do it with Catwoman, if they could do it with Ariel, and people having this hashtag of not my Ariel people in Twitter and everywhere, like, am I just saying they're right in a sort of way? But I mean, put it this way, there's other people that could cast the role of Ariel, but if it wasn't for this, if it wasn't for that, then I mean, anybody could dye a redhead, right? That means that what they did with Spider-Man. I remember when Kristen Dunst played Mary Jane Watson, Spider-Man's girlfriend. Then I'm just saying, look at this. I mean, at least, Kristen Dunst colored her hair red and saying a redhead. And other movies to include is that I'm just saying that there's one thing that has technically what people get pissed. People get pissed off, and then they are saying to that, alright, like very racial discrimination. I'm not discriminating anybody, but hey, what Disney has is just cast the people. They have just haven't cast a bunch of people who could ever have talent, and like, not everything is perfect, right? That I think if it's not about that, Ariana Grande could play the role. I mean, Ariana could sing. I mean, she fits perfectly for the role, even though she was not chosen. She could dye her hair red, either way, because I saw the video of emotions and her singing talent. Well, what it is that, right? So that would be more to stay with the original material, right? But what they did with that is not staying true to the original material. This is like what they have done, right? Back. This is 2019. This is not the 1960s. This is not 1968. So, for people who are not used to seeing the new Ariel, or am I just saying that I could agree with you guys? Am I saying, don't get me wrong, go back to the 1960s. Go back to the third season of Batman, right? Batman from the 1960s, when Eartha Kitt played Catwoman. People, I don't know if people go haywire, but if the internet wasn't public back in the 1960s, and we have Twitter and all of it back in the 1960s, then people would be saying, not my Catwoman. They always put hashtag not my Catwoman, right? So this is kind of ridiculous what they have done. I mean, nowadays with Ariel and stuff, and then what did Terry Jones or Idris Elba would play the Ariel's father, right? Like, like Jordan, Michael B. Jordan play Eric or something, Where is this gonna take place? Is this going to take place in the Caribbean? Who knows? I mean, all these things going on right there. all this with this Ariel situation. The Ariel situation that I might saying this is kind of stupid, just putting a twist on a character. They, I mean, they were people with back then that were gonna do it with Superman. Will Smith gonna play Superman, right? If Will Smith was casted to be played Superman, no, and then if they choose Will Smith to play Superman, they're gonna be, there probably might be hashtag that will say not my Superman, or like not my Superman with the hashtag not my Superman, right? This is kind of stupid, this is kind of ridiculous, but hey, Will Smith didn't play Superman. But I could tell you one thing for sure, that who might say that, I mean, going to all these things of ethnic swiping of people, call it whitewashing if it's a character, you know, like same thing with Airbender or Dragon Ball. They're whitewashing the characters who are Asian, right? So they did that with Ghost in the Shell with Scarlett Johansson, right? All of this, and then or black, what I just call it ethnic swapping, right? So if they ethnic swap some certain character, then what? Who's gonna be Snow White, right? I mean, anybody gonna have a cast of Snow White who's going to play the witch? I mean, the witch is going to the witch is going to be Asian, right? So what's next? I mean, in Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. So what's next, right? I mean, there's other characters. I mean, the could be ethnic swap or something like that. I mean, Ghost in the Shell. Ghost in the Shell was the main character, was played with Scarlett Johansson and not some Asian actress or something like that. So it would, and then I mean, people not freaking complaining about it, but then with this Ariel thing, now with this thing is like saying that, you know, it's like saying that if it wasn't Ariel, then if people are just complaining. I mean, people just complain. I mean, there was this hashtag about you know, Terry Crews gonna play Ariel's dad, or let's say Idris Elba's gonna play Ariel's dad, right? It sounds so ridiculous, but people just complain about these stupid things around there. To me, I think it's just pure stupidity, right? It's just pure stupidity because, I mean, this new Little Mermaid movie, I mean, taking out on the new twist, I agree. You know, I mean, Hailey Bailey have the voice, but you know, that's just the only thing, is just giving the new twist on the character. People, I agree with people are mad about it, but yet it happened before. This is not a new. This is not the 1960s, people. If you're not used to it, then okay, you know, I'm not just saying, yeah. If they're not okay, I mean, listen to Warner Bros. Right there. I mean, there are two characters from the DC universe. One character from Superman 4 is that Nuclear Man. Nuclear Man could be played by an Asian person. It could be played by Brian T. You know, the guy that played the so-called the Justin Timberlake of Japan? Right, that guy. That guy would be the best character to play Nuclear Man in the next Superman movie, or next Superman versus Batman movie. Then he'll be born in Japan, out of his mother's womb, in Hiroshima or Nagasaki, in the same day that we dropped the first atomic bomb on Japan. So make Nuclear Man Japanese. Brian T. fits the character to play that guy, you know. And Catwoman, the first character to play Catwoman, would be played by a black woman. You know, same thing like Eartha Kitt in another Batman versus Superman movie. You know, have whichever actress who could play Catwoman. It could be Brandy, it could be whoever could not play Catwoman, right? Or Gabriel Jr. could play, I don't know, whoever could play Catwoman. It would be the first thing that we'll do, and people complain, oh, this about these people, like, and I'm not saying that, like, I'm not hating on everybody, but people are complaining about this when this new Little Mermaid come out. Now for the Warner Brothers Studios, why not do the same thing with Catwoman again, what they did back in the 1960s when Eartha Kitt plays Catwoman. I remember Halle Berry used to play Catwoman. That movie, it's not just about the color, but that movie, the Catwoman movie, sucked. It won a Razzie. You know, it was fun to watch, but it sucked, right? Other than that, you know, people are just complaining, but just have a new twist in things, right? Just to toss it out of the ballpark, have it that way, you know. What it's called, ethnic swapping, you know, and you have Jason Statham to play Blade. You know, Blade is black, right? Actually, when I saw the live action movie of Blade, you know, I mean Blade, man, like Blade. That movie was awesome, right? But now, like, have a remake, have Jason Statham play Blade, and for the new X-Men, have Scarlett Johansson to play Storm, right? Why not have Scarlett Johansson to play Storm, and let's see what's all the fuss comes about when they just have this fuzz and people have the other SJWs, you know, social justice warriors, what they're gonna do to attack, what the other SJWs going to say about Scarlett Johansson playing Blade and Jason Statham playing, Scarlett Johansson playing Storm and Jason Statham playing Blade, right? So that would be more of this, even though that, like, same thing that I'm talking about, a video game character movie, you know, video game movies. Well, just put it this way, you know. But I remember when the Daredevil and the guy who played Kingpin in the Daredevil movie, when they ethnically swapped Kingpin. So the guy the guy is dead now, but he wanted to play a good role as a strong man in Dumbo, right? So the Dumbo remix. So talking about that, to the video game remake, to the video game movies, Sonic the Hedgehog. Yes, Sonic the Hedgehog. I mean, the only person, and talking about, and redheads too. Talking about redheads, Dr. Robotnik, right? Dr. Robotnik should be played by Jeffrey Jones. Jeffrey Jones could play Dr. Robotnik. But they have the cast given it to Jim Carrey because Jeffrey Jones could play a fat guy, and he could play Dr. Robotnik. Perfect guy to play Dr. Robotnik. Whoa. Or I might just say, or it doesn't have to be a redhead. Or let's say Danny DeVito could play Dr. Robotnik, right? I mean, perfect to cast it in Sonic the Hedgehog movie, right? That's one of those two characters. But then, if they make the Sonic the Hedgehog sequel, what are you gonna have? James Earl Jones to play, you know, the guy who played my favorite villain, playing Dr. Robotnik. I mean, that would be like all the fuss about what not not my Dr. Robotnik thing, but anyway. But he could play the nemesis of Inspector Gadget, Claw. Remember the guy? that guy would play even though you don't see him. I mean, you don't see his face. Remember, Inspector Gadget. I'll get you right now, Gadget. I remember that. Then, so James Earl Jones could play the Nemesis Claw in another Inspector Gadget remake. Then that would be like, yeah, he had the voice and it sound like my favorite villain, Darth Vader. And it would sound pretty awesome, right? Then, I mean, we're gonna have Samuel L. Jackson playing Dr. Robot. No, one movie that's supposed to be a remake is Oh God, You Devil, and put in the series of the Almighty series. I mean, the Almighty series starts with Bruce Almighty. It is just two movies that is called Bruce Almighty and Ivan Almighty, right? So Bruce Almighty would be the guy, the guy he wanted to have God's powers. Morgan Freeman plays God, right? And then Ivan Almighty telling Ivan to build an ark, right? So those two films would be quite right. And then talking about Sonic again, another guy who could play Dr. Robotnik besides Danny DeVito or James Earl Jones. I mean, the guy from Roseanne, the fat guy. I remember him. Yeah. I'm just gonna get my phone and see what it is. So, and the battery's gonna go be dead. I mean, put it in his. All right. John Goodman. I mean, John Goodman could play Dr. Robotnik, right? John Goodman would be perfect to be playing Dr. Robotnik in the Sonic movie. Well, most likely, then am I just saying this to everybody about besides video game movies, and I mean like remake Snow White. Oh, no, remake, besides video game movies, and now I forgot how am I saying, but yeah, put it that way. People complain about the new Ariel or something like that. So the Batman movie, right? So, all right then. Now talking about John Goodman, and yes, I forgot that we're talking about, oh yeah, the Almighty movies, right? So with the Almighty movies, right? Like I'm already saying, with John Goodman playing Dr. Robotnik, right? So with the Almighty movies, I'm just saying, the battery in this camera almost died, but I'm just saying that you have Bruce Almighty, Ivan Almighty, and Bruce Almighty was Bruce when I get God's powers, and then Morgan Freeman plays God, and then Ivan Almighty, like I just tell him to make an ark, and then talking about that now, this one, the third installment of the Almighty movies, would be that Samuel L. Jackson plays the devil. And I wonder why Samuel L. Jackson could play the devil is because then, I mean, is gonna be called Brian Almighty. I remember this movie called Oh God You Devil. And oh God You Devil. I mean, George Byrne has played God and the devil, two roles at the same time, but this time with Brian Almighty, then Samuel L. Jackson plays the devil, right? And I'm just saying, two songs to toss about in this one. It would be at first when Brian wants to say he wanted to be a rock star and wanted to sell his soul to the devil, then they have the beginning about Samuel L. Jackson driving a Dodge Challenger, and he is singing "Black Magic Woman" by Santana, and then after that you're gonna toss another song around, and at the end about the Almighty movies, Morgan Freeman, who plays God, talks to Samuel L. Jackson, plays the devil, and he was saying, "What are you doing with this golden violin?" And then Samuel L. Jackson, he replies he's going to Georgia. And then this is where at the end the devil goes down to Georgia song come along at the end, and this is like kind of like a twist with all this thing. It would be fun to see in the beginning, Samuel L. Jackson playing the devil, singing Black Magic Woman, driving a Dodge Challenger, right? Then that'll be it. But and other than that, about this thing about ethnic swapping, remake Super Mario Bros. James Earl Jones playing, Bowser. So that would be interesting. Other than that, that have John Goodman play Bowser, right? So after all, this thing with this hashtag Not My Ariel thing, and what I think about Not My Ariel thing, and like when the movie comes out, I mean, and people freaking complain about it. So let's see how it works out. Let's see how they could cast, who they're gonna cast, where it's gonna take place. Are they gonna twist things around? I think they might just twist things around because studios know when to twist things around for something. When they twist things around, I mean, let's say it, people ain't gonna have that, or with this not well. Warner Brothers, this is for you. Catwoman. Do that with Catwoman again. They did it when Eartha Kitt played Catwoman. Have an Asian nuclear man. So this would be more like, this is nothing new. This happened before. And put it this way, I mean, this is it with the video. I mean, I'm going to say that with all this happening, this is nothing new. This is nothing new with going on. I mean, people wanted to complain about it and have new twist and things. So put it this way, I mean, if you're not gonna watch the movie, don't watch the Little Mermaid remake. If they gonna do it like that, so I mean, I might just say I'm just must say, but this is just written in paper. We're not sure if they going to do it or not. So I might just say, stay cool, calm down, folks. I mean, I'm sure that I agree with you, with some of you people, and then I might just thinking this is not having to twist things in a new way. I mean, same thing happened with Aquaman. Aquaman is different, I might just say stay tuned for everything else, and I mean, don't forget to subscribe to the Embargo Man channel. I mean, I would say that you would have to just chill with this and please check out, if you want to check out something, if you want to see This Is Nothing New Before, check out the 3rd season of the Batman TV series when Eartha Kitt played Catwoman. This is nothing new, folks. Don't get mad. Just calm down. And I'm just saying, yes, I'm just saying. Let's say that what the other side of the SJWs would say about Jason Statham playing Blade and Scarlett Johansson playing Storm, right? So goodbye and peace out and take care of yourself. Please subscribe to my channel and hit the ring bell. All right. Goodbye, folks.